I am getting so sick of this, and I hate Trump. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore, and I've never played Five Nights at Freddy's. I know of the game. I know it's massively popular, and I've seen this story floating around this week. And as I dug deeper into it, it just really upset me, and I want to make sure you guys were aware of it too. Guys, why do we insist that someone who supports a political candidate believes everything that political candidate stands for? Why are we now canceling people just because we found out they supported someone that we don't politically agree with? It's not right. I thought we lived in a free country. Look, I don't like President Trump at all. I've never hid that feeling from anybody. I got blocked by Trump on Twitter. Sometimes some of my viewers find that and they cancel me off and say, oh, how dare you? And you know what? Then get out of here, because you're doing the same thing that you're criticizing these people of doing to the Five Nights at Freddy's creator. We're allowed to not like politicians. In fact, I don't like any politicians. I'm over politics. I think they're all liars and crooks and it's all a sham. At the same time, I understand it's important to vote. It's important to do your homework and really try to figure out the lesser of the evils based on the beliefs that you do have. But I never agree with a politician 100%. There's always a few issues that I'm not super in on with, exactly in on. But what's so crazy is because Scott Cawthon, the creator of Five Nights at Freddy's, because he was caught donating to some Republicans, including Trump, Mitch McConnell, some people I don't like, the internet has now canceled him. Now, what was frustrating about this story is he actually tried to stand up against this. Just a few days ago, he was getting totally attacked on Twitter for someone finding out his campaign donations, and he put out a statement saying he was not going to apologize. And I thought, you know what? Good for you, man. So here's where it started. I want to make sure you have the full context of the story. But they found out that he gave political contributions through Open Secrets and discovered it's a website where I guess you can find that out. He donated to Trump, Mitch McConnell, but he also donated to Democratic Representative Tulsi Gabbard. Now, Newsweek is very quick to point out Tulsi Gabbard drew criticism for pushing a bill that would ban transgender girls from competing in women's sports. Now, this is a very, very complicated topic, and it's not fair to just put it out there as if like she's phobic, you know what I mean, against this is a immensely complicated topic that there needs to be a lot more conversation about, because it's complicated. What can you say? I hear what she's saying. I think there is a danger at times. At the same time, I understand where some people, like, well, at schools and elementary, there are certain areas where it shouldn't be that way. But for professional sports, I think it's a worthy conversation to have. But because she had it, now Tulsi Gabbard's as bad as Trump is what they do. Because one little belief that you may not agree with, but then everything else, well, how dare you support this political candidate? I mean, do you guys support political candidates 100% of the time, always? Anybody in their life? Nobody has the same opinions. This is maddening. Anyway, because of that, he got just reamed all over the internet. So he put together a response. And his response actually sums it up better than even I could. And so he says, look, the last few days have been surreal. To say that would be an understatement. I've debated greatly how to best to address this, including not addressing it all, but with so many people from the LGBT community in the fan base that I love, that's not an option. I'd like to think that the last 7 years would have given me the benefit of the doubt in regards to how I treat people. But I was there. But there I was, trending on Twitter for being a homophobe, getting doxxed, with people threatening to come to my house. My wife is 6 weeks pregnant, and she spent last night in fear because of what was being said online. She's already been struggling with her pregnancy, so seeing her afraid really scared me. All this because it exercised my right and my duty as an American citizen to vote for and support the candidates who I felt could best run the country for everyone. And that's something that I won't apologize for. Good on you, man. I wish you had stood by this the whole time. But maybe it's just too much to bear, and we'll get there. For those who took the time to look, you saw the candidates I supported included men, women, white people, black people, Republicans, and Democrats. I supported Kimberly Classic of Baltimore because I believe she really cared for the African-American community there and wanted to pull them out of poverty. I believe she could have made a real big difference at a time when so many black communities were struggling. She lost. She lost, unfortunately. I supported Tulsi Gabbard, Democrat, even though I disagreed with her on several issues, because I felt she would have been a good and fair president. And yes, I supported supported Trump because I felt he was the best man to fuel a strong economy and stand up to America's enemies abroad, of which there are many. Even if there were candidates who had better things to say to the LBG community directly and bigger promises to make, I believe that their stances on other issues would have ended up doing much greater harm to those communities than good. All of this explanation, I fear, is wasted as people don't want to discuss with one another anymore. They want endless apologies and submission. People who are expecting these from me will get neither. Again, bravo, dude. I mean, look, I want to keep going on this, but like, how does any rational person read this and think this guy's a monster? This guy just has different political beliefs. Where did we get as a society where we're not allowed to have different political beliefs? I don't agree with, I'm sure, a lot of the things he believes in, but I will fight for his right to have them. As long as he's being a fair and good person, which it sounds like he is. We have no proof of that, just aside from who he voted, who he supported to, monetarily as he was voting, because he has money. I've always been supportive of creators and tried to treat everyone fairly and treat everyone with dignity and respect. I've never cared about anyone's race, religion, gender, or orientation. I just treat people as people, everyone the same, and because of that, I've ended up with a very diverse group of people that I've worked with over the years. It wasn't intentional; it just happened that way. I chose people who are the best for the job. I treat everyone the same, and I ended it with people who are from all walks of life, my professional life and my personal life as well. That's the way it should be. That's the way I want it to be. That's the way I will continue to be. I'm a Republican. I'm a Christian. I'm pro-life. I believe in God. I also believe in equality and in science and in common sense. Despite what some may say, all of those things can go together. That's not an apology or promise to change. It's the way it's always been. If I get canceled, then I get canceled. I don't do this for the money anymore. I do it because I enjoy it. If people think I'm doing more harm than good now, then maybe it's better that I get canceled and retire. I would accept that. I've had a fulfilling career, but besides, most things that people can take from you are things that never had much value to begin with. Facts. I've always loved and will continue to love this community and this fan base, even someday, if someday it doesn't include me anymore. Man, this is just sad, man, to watch, and I can relate to him having something I made just taken away from me. Granted, I made mistakes in what I did. I don't like to make this about me, but I relate to like losing the thing that you had because things have changed, or people are misunderstanding, or people can't forgive because you're human and made mistakes. It's hot. It's tough, man. And I see this, and I hope. I wish he didn't give up. He shouldn't have given up. And I've learned the hard way that you can't really be canceled if you don't let them. Now, it's a toll on you, even if you're rich, even if you're whatever you are. It's a toll when people are constantly knocking you down. And just because you're knocking someone down for for seemingly the right reason or a good cause, doesn't justify the behavior. It's bad either way. You shouldn't be doing it to anybody. And so the fact that this happened is it's just sad. And so anyway, it seemed like he was going to stand up, but then yesterday he retired. He's now retired after this backlash, and he is no longer going to be the CEO. He's figuring out the next move, who's going to take over. But because of all this flack, he's no longer going to be in charge of this game, the thing that he created and made and created this fan base for. And there's a lot of fans that are upset, and there's a lot of fans celebrating. And so here's the last thing he put, sort of his statement, sort of putting it out there. Before I say anything else, check out this awesome piece of fan art. Pretty amazing stuff, right? It's from an unnamed 8-year-old fan. I have boxes and boxes of artwork like this from fans that I've saved over the years. I've tried to answer as many letters as I could, and I apologize to anyone I missed somehow. Someday when I have a bigger living room, maybe I'll have a giant collage of all the fan art I've collected. Stuff like this has made it all worthwhile for me over the last 7 years. I've had a blessed, fulfilling, rich career, and I've been shown great kindness, and I've tried to show great kindness in return. I've tried to make some good games, let the debate ensue, and I've witnessed the creation of Possibility, the most creative and talented fan base on the planet. But here on the 7th anniversary of the first game's trailer, as I realized that I was in my mid-30s when I created the series, and now I'm approaching my mid-40s, I realized that I miss a lot of things that I got to focus on before Five Nights at Freddy's became such a success. I miss making games for my kids, I miss doing it just for fun, and I miss making RPGs even though I stink at it. All this to say that I'm retiring. I've been shown tremendous love and support over the last week, a lot of which has come from the LBGT community. The kindness has shown me has been surreal. Is this the end of Five Nights at Freddy's? No. This just means that someone else will eventually be running the show, someone of my choosing and someone that I trust. We'll have to wait and see how this all plays out, but an announcement will be made at some point. I have 6 kids now, although one of them is currently the size of a blueberry. I love them dearly. They are my whole world and my whole universe. I want to focus my attention on them, focus on protecting them, and spending my time making things for them. I only ask that my fan base respect my decision. I will still be around, just not in the capacity that I used to be. What a blessed career I've had. What a wonderful people I've met. What a tremendous blessing to have been able to know all of you. Thank you so much. See you on the flip side. Now, look, he's making a choice here. We'll see how this actual exit is, but it's very clear he wants to protect his family. He's been getting death threats. Like, he doesn't want to deal with this hassle, the stress that it's causing his wife and everything else, so he's just bowing down. He's bowing down to remove himself from the equation so he can move on and not feel the pressure and the constant knocking of people who don't agree with you. How dare you? You're not a good person. It's so scary what we're doing. This is not the way. This is not the way. I don't understand why more people from the left aren't stepping up to defend someone like this on the right who has every right to vote and support who he wants. This mob mentality, even though I'm a person who doesn't like the type of person Trump is. I don't like him. I will never hide that. I'm allowed to, right? And I appreciate that I have Republican audiences, Trump supporters, who will respect my view in saying that, just like I respect yours and saying, look, you're allowed to vote for the guy. As long as you aren't a hateful, mean person or doing terrible things, then I respect that. And I want to get into the fight of whether Trump is a good or bad person because too much of the country is focused on that. He's no longer the president. It is what it is. That's the problem, though. The fact that we can't have these conversations respectfully to say, look, can we agree that we just don't agree politically, but we want the best for our people, and humanity? It's so maddening to watch so many people just turn into these mobs online, these social media outrage groups that just celebrate that this guy's gone. Ha! Another Trump supporter out of the way. No, he's not. He's still going to make lots of money. Still going to be very rich. He's still going to support people. You did nothing but just cause him and his family pain and bullied them. You did. So it bothers me, and I want to keep pointing out these stories because we got to stand united, and we got to start. I'm hoping once in a while this story will reach somewhere where someone who's maybe on the fence might say, all right, you know what, I'm a liberal, and I see this, and why am I so aggressive to somebody just because they donated to Trump? I don't know why or when. Maybe that doesn't mean they support this or that. I shouldn't jump to those conclusions, right? That's all I've been trying to do. I get so much flack for having conversations with Republicans. I'm labeled a Republican. I don't even know what I am anymore. I don't consider myself a Republican. I would never do that. I've always considered myself more Democratic. But even that, I see so many Democrats that I used to look up to be such bullies. And I don't want to be part of that team either. It's like I become an independent centrist, as they say. Tribeless is what they sort of the buzzwords that are going out there. And I want to keep. I hope some of you are. I'm not alone. I hope you're feeling relating. You're relatable, feeling the relatability to this problem I have of just what are we doing? Why are both sides so crazy at times? The extremism on either side. It's too much, and we got to be better. And these mobs online, it's just a lack of, it's just a selfishness, an entitlement of my viewpoint is way more important, so I'm going to push you out to win. It's not the way. It's not the way, and it's troubling. So, Scott, I'm sorry to hear that you got pushed out. I'm glad to see you're focusing on the fans and your family. It seems like you'll be okay. You're not being canceled. You're exiting on your own terms. Maybe not. You're exiting at the time you wanted to exit, but it sounds like you're doing it in a way where hopefully you can still maintain some ownership and things of this. You just won't be running the ship. And for that, I guess whatever makes you happy, man. But I'm sorry you had to go through this. Nobody should have to go through this. It's not like you said or did anything. Literally, someone went on Twitter and just found out, oh, we voted for this person. Let's get him. Ugh, it's scary, guys. Tell me what you think about this, and in fact, help me because I tell these stories, I don't get shared on YouTube. So hit that subscribe, hit that bell for me if you can, hit that like button. Let me know if you're getting this in your feed. I appreciate you. Put a comment down below, help the engagement, to help the algorithm. All of it really helps to get this channel keep going. You can also, as always, to really support, hit that join button, become a Popcorn Planeteer. I appreciate all you guys who come. You get to be part of the members, replays, and exclusive videos, watch parties that we do here on Popcorn Planet. Thank you guys for helping me rebuild and being here and support. It means so much to me. The real lesson here, don't let them cancel you. Don't let them cancel you. And never apologize for something you don't want to apologize for. If you did no wrong, you don't owe them an apology. And I want to stay tuned. I have more to say on that. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Stay tuned for more here on Popcorn Planet.